On the other hand, with respect to the Nirbhaya case here, state has moved trial court with a plea seeking issuance of fresh death warrant of execution against the convicts after the dismissal of mercy petition of convict Pawan Gupta. Additional Session Judge D Rana issues notice to respondents, that is the convicts, on an application filed by the prosecution seeking issuance of fresh death warrant against the convicts. Court has sought a response on the application and slated the matter for 2 p.m. tomorrow. So now we can expect a fresh death warrant to be issued by the court. Even though the government has already moved the Patiala court now, and they have asked them to take this at the earliest, and that the death warrant should be issued at the earliest, but the respondents, that is the convicts, they will have to reply, they will have to file their response here. Until then, the court cannot move forward, but they have slated the matter for 2 p.m. tomorrow. So by then, the convicts will have to file their application. Let's listen in what Nirbhaya's mother had to say after the government moved Delhi Patiala High Court. Well, even the father has spoken to the media. Let's listen in.
सबसे पहले मैं राष्ट्रपति जी का धन्यवाद करती हूँ और मुझे तसल्ली हुई कि जो ये लास्ट मर्सी थी खारिज हो गई और हम जा रहे हैं अभी एप्लीकेशन लगाएंगे नया डेट वारंट के लिए और उम्मीद करते हैं कि ये जो डेट वारंट निकलेगा वो लास्ट होगा और जो भी उनको टाइम कोर्ट देगा उसके अंदर ही अब उनको जो डेट आएगी उस पर फांसी होगी और निर्भया को इंसाफ मिलेगा। हालांकि अगर
देखिए इसमें शायद वाली कोई बात नहीं है, जब सबकी हुई तो इसकी भी वो करेगा ही करेगा, लेकिन इसके वजह से फांसी अब पोस्टपोन्ड हो जाए, रुक जाए या टल जाए, अब नहीं होगा। आशा जी ने जिस दही को इतना तो मक्खन तो निकलना ही निकलना था, तो अब चाहे वो कुछ भी कर ले, अब जो डेट पड़ेगी वो लास्ट होगा, अब आगे बढ़ेगा नहीं। खुश तो हम उस रोज भी थे, लेकिन एक मन में कहीं जो शंका थी वो सामने आ गई। जो 5 बजे जज ने कहा कि नहीं, अभी फांसी को रोका जा रहा है क्योंकि अभी पवन गुप्ता ने डाल दिया है, तो अब नहीं कोई रास्ता रहा। इसलिए हमारे चेहरे पे मुस्कान तो है, लेकिन अभी एक डर जरूर है कि क्या पता जिस दही को हमने बुलाया कितना खट्टा है कितना मीठा है, तो जब तक फांसी नहीं हो जाएगी तब तक थोड़ा सा मन में रहेगा।
To understand what are the other options before the convicts here and whether they can delay the entire process, I'm joined in by Supreme Court Advocate K.V. Dhananjay on the phone line. Many thanks for joining us. Now, Mr. K.V. Dhananjay, now the President has already rejected the mercy petition of Pawan Gupta here, but now the High Court has asked for the convicts to go ahead, respond to the plea which has been submitted or moved by the government here. So, can they delay the process yet again by not filing their response in time?
Looks unlikely because going by how this matter has panned out in the last 2 or 3 months, the trial court has to now set a fresh death warrant, and for that they're not going to give too much time to these convicts to have their say.
Okay.
Because it's only a formality, because the question before the magistrate's court is whether these people have exhausted the remedies that were available to them under the law. And in regard to that, the convicts are not expected to basically, give evasive answers. The answer can either be in a yes or no format. So far, they have said that they have not exhausted it, and why they have not exhausted is because they have filed something which is pending. So now the magistrate will be made aware of the fact that the President has just rejected the mercy petition. And because whatever information the convicts could give is also information other parties are also entitled to provide. Let's say the Delhi police or the Delhi government, they too would be privy to the orders passed by the President, that is rejecting the mercy petition. So they too could provide that information. So there is practically no likelihood of the court wanting to spend a lot of time, if only the convicts say that they want a lot of time to respond to it. So the court is not going to give them too much time. Maybe a day or two would be granted to them to, give their response. And after that, the date will be set. But whatever date will be set will be 14 days, not less than 14 days from the date of rejection of the mercy petition. So the mercy petition was rejected today. So in terms of the Delhi jail rules, they could only be hanged after a period of 14 days from tomorrow
So that
morning.
they're mentally fit and, they're mentally prepared for it.
Not just that, these jail rules were all made in the 1950s and 60s when communication was not as swift as it is today.
True.
Though we did have the telegram then, the hypothetical possibility that the president, not in this case, but let's say the president had in fact granted mercy, but then the telegram would say that mercy is rejected, and the jail authorities will go out and then hang the person concerned. But 3 or 4 days later, they receive the paper order which says the exact opposite. But they would not be able to bring back a dead person into life. And, these are the considerations that have weighed in the mind of our lawmakers when they made these jail rules. And also, as things go, someone who is convicted to die, through hanging, and the courts, when matters go before them, they're not going to frown on a period of 14 days or anything like that. But unfortunately, this is a case where the convicts have used every trick in the book. So the convicts are on the last leash, and they would not be getting any further time from the courts. So they could say, we could confidently state now that in the next 16 days time, the death warrant will be set, and considering how this matter has played out, there is no likelihood of any further delay at all, except one extreme perversity, which is if any of the 4 convicts try to kill themselves and in the process require hospitalization, so much so that the hospital authorities don't consider them fit enough to be discharged before the scheduled date of hanging. That's the only possibility that may delay it further, else every other possibilities are closed. So to answer your question, no. At this point of time, I think they are now scheduled to die.
Okay. Many thanks for joining us, Mr. K.V. Dhananjay, with all of those details there. But clearly, no other trick left in that book to go ahead and delay the entire process. For over the past 3 months, they have been delaying the entire process. The court issuing death warrants after death warrants. But somewhere, the loophole is found. They apply for a mercy plea, and that takes an entire procedure here. That delays the process of execution, and the parents somewhere, they have been waiting for justice. Clearly, that was not served. So that is why, at this point in time, Pawan Gupta, after the president rejected his plea, clearly it has made way for the court to announce the death warrant, to issue the death warrant here. Once that is done, then 14 days they will be hanged to death.